What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Welcome into the channel, and today we're going to talk a little Ark, but I just wanted to let everybody know thank you so much for watching these Ark Raider videos, all the comments, all the likes. I really appreciate it. The Ark Raider community and people are excited about this game, which is so cool. So that's very exciting. And if you guys can hit the Discord, trying to get a lot of people in. Try to get so when the 30th comes, we have a ton of people in the Discord, and we can run with people in the community. It would I love to have that going on the channel. So hit the link in my description of this video and on my channel. And then one other thing is I'm going to be doing a ton of Ark Raider videos, but also I'm going to cover GTA 6. We're going to start doing some GTA 6 and mixing in some of that. We do have the Battle Royale for Battlefield, which I am a Battle Royale player. I know a lot aren't. I know, I get it, but I like it. It's exciting to me. So I might be, having a couple videos for Battlefield Battle Royale coming up. But besides that, we've got a little video from Across. The future of Ark Raiders is revealed. So I know during the Service Slam at TwitchCon, they revealed that they want to be doing content for about 10 years on this game, which is awesome. In the finals I know they have plans for that for many, many years too. So I'm super excited. Let's just see what he's got to say.
Like many of you, I was slamming the Ark Raider servers this past weekend. But while we were slaying Ark out on the Rust Belt, the developers behind Ark Raiders gave an hour-long QA panel at TwitchCon. And they revealed very important details regarding game design, cheaters, post-launch content, and the Ark Raiders in-game. Today's video is going to be a summary of the most important information.
The thing is I've never played an extraction shooter. I didn't know it had an actual end game, so I don't even know what that would mean. And does that mean an end game, that's it, or is it going to be season I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Received from that QA session. If you'd like to watch the full interview,
I just want to shoot people.
Twitch link down below, which will take you to the vibe where
this
interview took place. I think the most surprising thing, though, is that Embark Studios is going into Ark Raiders with the intention of this being a 10-year game. Now, this interview was hosted by Artie IRL, and the developers from Embark
Artie
are Robert
Samuel, the
art director, Noracello, the tech designer, and Virgil Watkins, the design director. The first question: how do you balance an extraction game with PvPvE elements? From Nora here. Ark Raiders was initially a PvE game, and when Embark moved to PvPvE, we made the meaningful decision to keep the threatening and complex behaviors of enemy AI. Unlike many extraction shooters that actually dial back the PvE AI, we understand it's annoying to get third-party by a Rocketeer. That's intentional. We want the game to feel like you're fighting other raiders, but the main threat is Ark. Now, let me just say, guys, the Rocketeer, at least from this past weekend, are so overtuned.
So Rocketeer could be tamed down a bit, but I don't know if it's going to change in different maps. So if this map and this other map is it's insane. It is insane. It's okay. I'll learn and I'll adapt to it. You know what I mean?
Kind of a love-hate thing with the
Rocketeers.
With it.
Don't change anything in this game, really, honestly.
I get why they're
not
so
right now.
And I kind of love that they are. Until a Rocketeer 1v3s my entire squad. Now, from Virgil.
Now, that happened a lot.
Strong PvE elements is what gives context to the PvP. Otherwise, you just sort of end up with a deathmatch with a little bit of extra stuff happening on the side. The way enemies are designed,
dude, imagine fighting that
in the levels and other activities that happen throughout the round give texture to the PvP and forces the player to make hard choices, which is core to the experience. I could not agree more here. There were so many encounters that if I saw an enemy team already interacting with PV and combatants, oh, I'm pushing, baby. We're about to get easy kills. Especially if it was a harder enemy. If it was a Reaper or a Rocketeer, it's about to be Grief City. However, the last thing you want to do, though, is for that enemy AI to suddenly lock onto you. Question 2. Will quests ever force players to engage in PvP? From Nora. Questing will never force players to do PvP. You are the last of humanity living on Earth, and there are killer robots out to get you. This is the fantasy of Ark Raiders, and if we start telling you to kill other raiders, this violates that fantasy. We also want to be mindful of the original fans of Ark Raiders who were sold on a PvE experience. Yeah, all the quests really do pivot around PvE. Doesn't necessarily make it easy to do, considering, well, the PvE combatants are difficult, and there are PvP players out in the wild, but it will be things like kill certain PvE combatants, kill them with grenades, and of course, these quests escalate, especially in the endgame. Question 3. How do you balance the loot pool. From Virgil, we went through a lot of iterations on the loot spawning system, how to distribute loot, and what loot to distribute. It's driven by the actual items and crafting materials required to make them. It was very important that loot was put in the most understandable places as possible. All of the loot has a thematic category assigned to it, like mechanical or technological, and areas of the map that embody those themes. A container you find loot in should make contextual sense. If you need something electrical, you break open it.
Anybody that's watching this video, my colors were different than other people's. Was your colors different than this color? Because my epic was like legendary. It was like gold. I don't know, man. Did I have some color thing in my settings that I didn't turn off or didn't? You know what I mean? I don't know. Anybody in the comments, please let me know.
The map tells you where high value loot is.
I don't know what I did.
And the keys for locked rooms fall onto a gradient of rarity. Some will give you nice items, but others can unlock substantial amounts
mine
of
epic
ball
were
and
gold
loot for you and your squad. Ark will usually be patrolling these high value areas. So unless you're crafty in your approach, you'll probably need to fight your way through. What I will say for us, it seemed pretty random. Yes, the areas that had the high value loot indicated by those red zones had more opportunities for epics and such to drop. But you can literally just be digging into a cabinet and boom, you've got an epic. And I really like the little
that
noise
did happen. I just like random stuff I would find, like stuff like this or whatever. I would find like epic stuff in it. It was awesome. Yep, see right here. Yep.
Little dopamine hit, right? Now, the next question was a big one. Will this unique wipe prestige system work out well? From Virgil, we hope so. The project system is not an off-the-shelf solution. We want to respect the player's time. If you play somewhat regularly and engage with the project system intentionally, you should
I think it's a great idea that it's voluntary. I think it's really good.
I will say their approach here to their wipe/prestige system is pretty interesting, guys. We'll be breaking this down as we get closer to the launch of this game. I'm kind of in the same boat as like, yeah, I hope it does work. I hope it is a system appealing.
I think
to
it's
everyone.
good.
Now, next question. How did the Ark Raider style come to be? So from Robert here, early on during the studio's conception, we were deciding what type of games we wanted to make. Many of the developers come from a background of grounded reality-based games, but we wanted to go beyond that, something that stretches the bounds of reality. We inserted sci-fi elements, but everything has a framework of plausibility and believability, and the players naturally understand the sci-fi elements.
I love the look
because
of this
they are
game.
Intuitive and discernible. Now, how did Embark land on the glitchy VHS style of Ark Raiders? Robert states that early on, even while designing the logo, quote, we wanted to make it look like it was created in 1997. There's a certain nostalgia evoked in a retro-futuristic approach.
I love just the environment, just the way the game feels when you play it. You turn it on with the music. Everything, what they were trying to go for, they absolutely nailed it.
Recognizable,
it's so
and it's a
good,
fun
man.
era to dig around in. Dude, 1997, is that considered old now? The hell,
is.
man.
It
we
is.
ain't old. I'm a 90s model myself. Now,
Yep.
how did the art direction influence the design of the game? From Nora,
I love the
Embark
90s.
has a really intricate relationship with art direction. One of our mottos is go for gameplay first. The enemies in Ark Raiders physically inhabit the world, so both the art and tech teams need to take that into account. For instance, early on, the drones had a much sleeker and armored design, but it wasn't easily understood that you need to shoot the thrusters to take them down. So we redesigned the drones to make the thrusters more noticeable. For robots with legs, it needed to be clear that shooting them off gives you an advantage in combat. That's intuitive gameplay. Now, Robert chimed in and stated that we set up these rule sets that we adhere to. It's advanced technology, but there's no magic, and it's a really fun creative back and forth that strengthens the entire game. Now, just to give some context here, Embark uses physics-based rendering.
Yeah, this
So
is
get
really
this,
cool how they did
There are no
this.
programmed animations. Everything lives in the environment and has been trained to fight players for real, which is why I am scared to death if this tech ever enters the real world. If there's like an AI out there and it actually ends up picking up this code, hot damn it, fellas, we're gonna be fighting our toasters in the kitchen, our vacuum cleaners in the living room. Now, how did you
vacuum
decide
cleaners start
what
coming to
level of
life?
information to give players
Oh,
at
no.
any given moment? Nor states that it was actually very fun. At one time, the game had health bars and damage numbers, and what we realized is when you have those elements, that's all the player looks at. They didn't look at the enemies or the players. They didn't notice the VFX or the gradual destruction. Embark wanted players to feel immersed in the game. But that came with the difficult challenge of making sure players also
Yeah,
understood
I don't want any
everything
player
that was
bars or
happening.
anything.
Virgil states
Health
that
bars,
it was
no.
a really long process, but it aligned with our mission statements. Why make a game that is beautiful, immersive, and visceral if all players look at is the HUD? It was difficult, but when it all came together, it creates this intuitive experience that may be one of our biggest achievements. For instance, the naming conventions are supposed to inform you what each of these enemies do. The name of the fireball
going in.
was
He is
originally a
just
joke,
full
considering
sending.
it's literally a ball that shoots fire, but it was intuitive, so it stuck. Now, Nora stated that due to tech limitations, the pops were just smaller fireballs with no fire in the tech tests. But because players expected them to pop, quote, we designed them to roll up to you and explode. Let me just mention here, guys, that is one of the key factors to Arc Raiders is their immersion. You actually have to see when you shoot an enemy, does the shield break that you're shooting, or are you seeing blood? And the moment you see those puffs of red, you know you're hitting meat, baby. It's time to push. But they are very right. Damage numbers in certain games can end up taking up the entire screen. Your HUD, which is supposed to give you nothing but feedback, end up becoming the entire focus. And this works for some games, but in a game like Arc Raiders, it pulls you out of the immersion. I like the route they're going here. It's bold, but the reasonings behind this are spot on. Now, how did adapting the game to an extraction shooter alter the maps? Virgil states that originally we had a huge open world with points of interest, but they were essentially just set pieces. After the switch, interiors needed to be built out in an immense amount of detail. Props, loot, lights, doors, etc. In the old game, the pace was much faster because you'd be sprinting 10 kilometers in the desert doing nothing. Once the pace was brought down, the devs wanted the player to look around and appreciate the spaces, which went hand in hand with the concept art and groundwork that was already done for the art direction. Now, Nora states that 2 of the maps were created when the game was supposed to just be PvE. She stated that really helped set the tone and pushed us to always have threats from the AI, even in the interiors. If you run into a building to escape a rocketeer, there's a chance you're going to run into a player or another robot. If there's a space that's tense for PvP, it should also be...
One thing I'll say is they just did such a good job with the arc and the PvP and everything. Like, you're always on alert. You're always looking up. You're always hearing like some audio cues. It is just such an immersive video game. I can't believe like they did it. Like, they nailed this game, honestly. Like, shout outs to Embark, man. They did a hell of a job with this game. I cannot wait for this game to release on the 30th. I really truly still think that this game can seriously be like top game. Like, I really truly do. I believe it in my bones.
Capable of having PvE. Now, what thing has survived the longest from the old game? Virgil states zip lines. The code for zip lines is ancient and complicated, and we're afraid to touch it. I actually love that he said that. Reminds me of like Telesto in Destiny, right? That gun literally broke the game 20 different times. Now, what's the most recent addition to the game? Nora says augments. Player designer Kevin has put a lot of work into making sure augments actually augment how you play. Looting augments, healing augments, combat augments. So different types of players can differentiate their playstyles even further.
I like that.
Robert
That's
stated that
really
also
good.
the rooster has hats, which may even be newer than augments. That's right, guys. You can get a hat for your rooster. Now, this is where we lean into
I love
the
it. You got the
audience
helmet.
questions. Question number 1. In Tech Test 1, there was a community event that required a lot of cooperation to open up some bunker doors. Will we see these type of events in the live service? From Virgil, he simply said yes. Have you guys nerfed the snap hook? Virgil also said yes. How do you plan on handling the epidemic of cheaters? Virgil states that we have a great team. We use a combination of our own tools and existing software. It's been an active part of game development.
Cheating is such a bad, just such an issue in gaming right now.
We have a lot of experience cleaning up that. We're in a very good state with the finals today, and that should carry over to Arc Raiders. Now, how does Embark plan on balancing listening to the community and streamers versus the dev team? Virgil states that listening to the community is critically important, but we practice intent-based development. It's very important to understand the intent behind what is being said and know the intent behind what you're developing. We use those two to find a middle ground. I actually think that's a very good answer. As a developer, you're supposed to find that middle ground.
Because you got to listen to them, but then also you got to like realize, hey, if we change this, what happens? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is the, like, if we do this little change, is this gonna happen? You know what I mean? You gotta make sure that there's layers, because once you do something, then this happens, and you always have to just be cautious of what you do, which is really good.
Yes, you want
they're
things
awesome.
to be
They really are. Embark,
as Cammy recently pointed out in regards to Destiny, when you have so many different archetypes of players, everyone has different needs. As important as it is for a studio to say, hey, we're listening, it's even more important to say we're interpreting. And in this answer, that's exactly what he's saying, the intent behind what is being said. Now, would you be willing to add the special night variants of Ark to high-end areas? North states that it is something we've considered. Now, what can players expect from a post-launch roadmap? Now, this is where things get juicy. Virgil states that internally, for a long time, we've referred to this as a 10-year game, and that dictates the type and quality of content we wanted to put into it. We're not at the stage to discuss exact roadmap details. That could spiral into promises that go unfulfilled if things change. But of course, adding things over time like new maps, extending quest lines, and introducing new enemies and new weapons. We'll have some stuff lined up post-launch and a little bit after, but then updates will be based on what we see after launch. So guys, it's a hell of a statement, man. 10 years. And I know a lot of this
and the thing is, you have to remember, like, if this game does really well, man, they're gonna sink some money into this game. They really are. It's a fact, man, because if this game does so well, man, they're gonna be like, okay. And then they can start doing events, and like this game could really be big. Like seriously, could be a really big game.
Depend on how, of course, it's received by the gaming communities. It kind of reminds me of when like Destiny first came out and revealed their 10-year plan. And many of us at the time were like, what? 10 years? Are you kidding? And even though Destiny may be in the tank right now, we actually ended up getting 10 very good years. Sure, we definitely had some misses, and there were definitely some major mistakes made along the way. But I love that Ark Raiders here is leaning into a 10-year plan, meaning that this is their baby, and it should be. This was a game we saw way back, even before the finals.
I was gonna say, before the finals.
Now, what is the story behind
Which
Scrap?
is crazy.
Robert states that one of the developers was making a resource machine and wanted to add some charm. They wanted the resource machine to have some sort of personality, like a little bot. The team's first thought was to make a cat, but designing a cat was a large undertaking, and they were pressed for time. But they did have a rooster. It's based off of a real rooster. A parent of one of the 3D artists had one called Hokum. I think I'm saying that right. Now, in addition to progressing your Raider, Embark showed off some future customizations you'll be able to unlock for Scrappy via quests and your Raider deck. You can get an astronaut helmet, a cowboy hat, a diver's mask,
hell yeah, I want a gold chain,
pilot helmet, bucket, hard hat, and even different colors.
I don't even know if you could
feathers.
wear a chain.
Now, the final question: does the Embark team have a philosophy for in-game in Ark Raiders? From Virgil here, some of the elements you can already see today. Some map conditions can majorly change up the gameplay. We want to intelligently twist the content we already have that doesn't feel like we just reheated something. The in-game play has to evolve with the game as we go. I can't say for sure the game will exist forever in the format we have today. This game can hold so much more than just the game mode we have today, no matter how compelling it might be, and it would be a waste to keep it there. Now, I know nothing was really tangibly said in that statement. I guess for the most part, in-game though, for an extraction shooter, is pretty straightforward. Get the best gear, keep progressing to get even better gear, poop on other players in the process. I've got a lot of high hopes for this game, guys. And I really do like many of the answers that was given to us in this interview. The developers seem like they have good heads on their shoulders. I like that they're pulling from what they've learned, not only from where they worked previously, as many of these guys are ex-DICE guys, but also from their first game, the finals. And I'm really curious to see how this game looks once we completely have it in our hands. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching.
Yeah, one hell of a... We're going to end that here, but I mean... I don't know, man. Embark, like I said, Embark will be, I think, a top like studio in like 5 to 10 years. In like 10 years, we'll be looking back and they'll be like number like 3 or 4. Like people will love this studio. I have a feeling they'll have a ton of games coming out after this, years and in the future. But yeah, what a video. I like that video as a cross. I'm gonna put his link in the description as I usually do. Go hit him a like, go hit him a sub. But yeah, no. Thank God. I mean, not thank God, but like it's really cool to see like the finals, like the way they do that game it's really well. I love how they do their cosmetics. I don't think they're gonna do the cosmetics like Ark, but hopefully they do. They kind of do eventually, because the way they do it is you buy a bundle, but you can buy just the camo, just the shoes, just the pants from that bundle, which is really cool. And yeah, no, 10 years of Ark Raiders. I mean, if it's a good game, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play this game. I don't know. Is it going to be months? Is it going to be years? That I'm not quite sure. One thing I do know, I'll be playing it for months. But after that, you know what I mean? After wiping a couple times, is the game going to, evolve into something that's just awesome, where they even have other modes, or you know what I mean, or whatever it is, you know what I mean, more maps and different stuff that you can sink your teeth in, you know what I mean. But it's very interesting. I appreciate everybody that makes it at the end of the video. You're a goat. If you can hit a like up on these videos, it really truly helps. And if you can, hit the Discord. We're trying to get as many people in there. And until the next one, hope everybody has a good day. See you on the top side. Peace.